Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to go over the concept of how to find the lowest common multiple, or the abbreviation for that would be called the LCM. The best way to find the lowest common multiple is to create a chart which consists of factors of all the primes, then find the common primes and multiply them together. Factors of common primes. Factors mean that you multiply the numbers together. So now, for what is the prime? A prime is a number that divisible by itself or by 1. So I list a few examples here for the prime. So number 1 is a prime, number 2, 3, 7, 5, 11, 13, 29 are the primes. So you notice that in between the 3 and the 7 here, I didn't put the number 4, right? Because 4 can be divided by 2, 4 can be divided by 4, 4 can be divided by 1 with the remainder of 0. However, 4 also divided by 2, therefore 4 is not a prime. So remember, prime can only divide by itself or by 1. Excuse me. So I want to go through the process of how to find all of this prime. Okay, and then before we get into this chart, I would like to go over the concept of getting the prime. So I will get myself a blank space here and will show everyone how to get to that process. Alright, so first of all, you have to find the lowest common multiple of 12, 10, and 8. Okay, there are different methods out there, but the method I'm going to show everyone is called collecting all the common prime. So what I will do is I will take 12, I divide it by the lowest prime. Okay, the lowest prime that divisible into 12. So in this case, the lowest prime divisible into 12 with a remainder of 0 could be 2. So I divide it by 2, I have 6. I keep dividing with the lowest prime possible with the remainder of 0 until I get to a1. Okay, so 6 divided by 2 again, I have 3. So now 3, I will divide it by 3 because 3 now is the lowest prime possible divisible by 3. So then in this case, I will have 1. So why? When you have 1 is when you stop. Okay, and then you are going to collect all of this number that you chose to divide here. So these are the prime. So note that 2 times 2 times 3 is equal to 12, right? Okay, so these are the factors of prime. So these are called factors of prime. Because you multiply all of these primes, you get to the number 12. So I will do the same for number 10. So here's my number 10. Okay, I divided by the lowest prime possible, which will give me a remainder of 0. So the lowest prime possible would be 2. So this will give me 5, right? So then I take 5. 5 is divisible by 5. It's the lowest prime possible to give me a remainder of 0 for this. So it will be 5. And then it's 1 as the remainder. So this is when you stop. Okay, stop where your result is equal to 1. Now you are collecting all the prime that you chose to divide. So in this case, I will have 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So again, these are the factors of primes so that I can have the number 10. Alright, so factor of primes mean you multiply this prime together to get the number that you want. So now for number 8, so then I will take 8. I divided the lowest prime possible, which is 2. I get 4. Continue dividing until you get to the result of 1. So 4 divided by 2, I will get 2. I will take 2 divided by 2, now I will have 1. So now this is when I stop, right? So I collecting all the number that I chose to divide. So now you will see that, note that 2 times 2 times 2 equal to 8. Again, these are the factor of primes. factors of primes. I multiply 2 times 2 times 2. They are all the lowest prime possible to give me the number 8. So the next step is to create a chart out of this. Okay, so to create a chart out of this, you see on my on my handout, I put them all into a chart. Okay, so in the workbook, on this page, I forgot to mention to everyone that this is Unit 2, Topic 1, and what we are working with is the prime, the lowest common multiple, and it's on page 34. Okay, so you see that I put them all in this chart, and you see there's some blank cell right here. So I put a chart here, there's a blank space, there's a blank cell, there's all the blank cell. So basically what I do is I list them so that I can just group them as just one. So I will group them in a chart so that I will have a common 2. So I will bring down the only 2 that is common. So you have 2 here, so you bring out only the 2, the 3, and the 5. And then after that, you multiply them together, right? Okay, so let me show everyone how to organize that chart. Okay, so get back to our details, how to calculate this. Okay, so then what you do is you create a chart like this. Okay, so I will have, first of all, I will pick 12, okay? So 12 is equal to 2 times 2, okay, times 3, okay? So I will have a chart written as, I recommend that everyone create like an open chart. Open chart, it means you don't want to close your the end here yet, okay? Because you may have to create more a column in this case. So I have 12. Okay, so there it is. And you see I got this one blank, but I will fill it in a minute. So let me just leave it here for now. So this is 12. And then I have the number as 10. And then I have the number as 8, right? So here's my, okay, so 12 is 2 times 2. Okay, so it's 2 times 2 times 3. So let's put the 3 here for now. That's the, because we tend to do that. Okay, number 10 will be 2 times 5. Okay, so you list the number 2 right underneath this 2. So this 2 should be listed underneath each other. And times 5, you cannot write 5 in here. Okay, cannot write in here because they have to be the same underneath of this. So then you will have to choose another blank cell and put a 5 in here. All right, okay. So the next step is to put 2 times 2 times 2 for number 8. Okay, I will show you where I will move number 3 in a minute. So it's 2 times 2 times 2. So you list it like that. And then you take a look at this 2. You see here, you take a look at this 2. You see that you cannot have 3 and 2 in the same columns because you need to have a common primes so that when you bring them down to your next line as your lowest common multiple, you only bring down only the 2 here, only this 2 here. So therefore, this 3, I will move it over to this blank. All right, so okay, so I'm going to erase this. So now you know that why I am listing them in the way that they can only present on its own when I brought it down to the next to the bottom here. So it's 2, 5, and there's this 3. Okay, so I create another line like this, so I can bring down the common factors. These are common factors. And I multiply them. In this case, I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. I will get 120. Okay. So there are different ways to work with this lowest common multiple. And sometimes it's actually quite tedious because your number could get very big. And then I know that the method called, you just keep multiplying until you find a common multiple. But sometimes multiplication can be tedious if you actually have to multiply a lot of numbers together. So then I believe that this method is the best way of figuring out your lowest common multiple. However, it's entirely up to you. You can use this method or you can use any other method. Alright. Okay, so let me get back to our handout. So in this handout, I have another example. Okay, so this example show me that I have 14, 21, and 9, right? Okay, so again, I will show everyone how to get to all of this common prime and create them in the chart to put our common one. Okay. All right. So let's get another blank page. Okay, so I have 14. Okay, so again, 14, you divide it by 2, right? Always start with the lowest prime possible. So you have 7. And then you have 7, you divide it by 7 again to get 1. So this is when you stop. So these are the prime for this. And you have 21. Okay, 21, you divide it by 3 this time because this will give you 7. And then you will take 7, you divide it by 7, you will get 1. So this is your factors of prime to get 21. And then 9, you divide it by 3, you get 3. 3 divided by 3, you get 1, right? So 3 times 3 will give you 9. So now you are going to list your 14, 21, and 9. Okay, so 14 is equal to 2 times 7. Okay, so I will list them like this. So I want to show everyone the process here. And then you can see, so it's 2, and then you list the 7 right beside it, right? Okay, so now 21 is 3 and 7. So then you are going to write 7, and then you write the 3 here. Okay, so you don't want to write the 3 in this cell of your chart because the 3 cannot be listed under the 2, right? So now you have another 9. So you have to leave this cell empty, this empty, this empty, but you start with the 3 here, and then you make another 3 here. So that's what I meant by create an open chart. Okay, so now your lowest common multiple will be bring down only 1, 2, bring down only 1, 7, bring down this 3, bring down this 3, and multiply them all together. In this case, we have 2 times 7 times 3 times 3, so I have 126 as lowest common multiple of 14, 21, and 9. Alright, so let's get back to our handouts. Okay, so here I listed everyone, so I can have you can bring them out to get 7, and or it's still the same process as I show you on this chart, and this should be a lot simpler right here. Alright, okay. So for the next part of this lesson, I think these the practice, and I would like everyone to give it a try, and solution is actually posted online. All right, thank you.